And in today's video, I'll be discussing how accurate my 2021 Georgia Senate runoff prediction was. This was the results, actually. No, not red. Blue. This was the results. They were both lean blue. Sorry, my computer's lagging. Both the seats were lean blue, which I was not expecting at all. Jon Ossoff's had it been 0.1% to the left or to the right, it would have been tilt blue, because for my margins it's 0.9 and the lower is tilt blue. But Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock both won by lean blue margins. My prediction was that they would win by tilt blue margins. If you take a look at my prediction, my final prediction, Raphael Warnock winning with 0.8 was my prediction. He won with 1.6, so I underestimated him by 0.8%. And then Jon Ossoff, wherever that may be, over here. When Jon Ossoff won, I underestimated him. He won by 1%. I said that he would win by 0.2%. So I also underestimated him by 0.8%. So I was 0.8% off. I was 0.8% to the right. Which I'm kind of proud that my prediction for this was I underestimated Democrats on this level, because on the presidential level, I drastically underestimated Trump. I thought he was going to lose North Carolina, Florida, and Maine's 2nd Congressional District, which he did not. By the way, sorry, the App Store is bouncing down there. So I am happy that I did predict this race just a couple points to the right, because like I said, if you look at my presidential election prediction, I was wrong. And now if you look at my margins, I had them both on tilt blue, like I said, so I was one margin off for both of them. So if you account for the margins, I was wrong. I did get them both right, like I said, and I was 0.8% to the right. Also, this is very random, but it is, I think, very important for me to talk about. I'm up in the office upstairs right now. Downstairs, I have CNN on the news. We were watching the Trump riots in D.C., and I want to kind of talk about what this signifies for politics and elections. I don't really think it means a whole lot. That's what I think this would affect elections a lot. I don't think voters are gonna see what happened and be like, oh, this is gonna happen. I do think that it does solidify something, though. A lot of people were speculating that after Trump is out of office, politics would go back to how they normally were, how they were before the Trump era, that they were gonna go back to being like how they were in 2015. I think that this proves this is not gonna go back to what happened in 2015. This is not going to be 2015, 2016 politics. A lot of people think that the GOP is going to become more moderate, which I think that this shows that they're not. Moderates won't be able to win. And Trump was right. All these candidates, he's going to primary anyone that does not vote to object election results, which is a lot of top Republicans. That means that he will be trying to primary Mitch McConnell in 2026. I don't know if his name will be relevant in politics by that point. I guess his name will always be relevant as he was a president, but I don't necessarily know that him saying go primary Mitch McConnell will have anything to do with anything. But I think that shows the GOP base. A lot of people don't know that. I say a lot of people don't know this. Not a lot of people don't know this, but this is a fact that I just randomly heard. It's a fact that kind of gets lost in the shuffle, I guess, behind like Latino voters voting away from Trump, and facts are voting more with Trump, and the Cuban American vote voting with Trump, and Joe Biden doing better among the older white vote. So I don't want to say it's a fact that a lot of people don't know, but it's a fact that kind of got lost in the shuffle. Donald Trump won more of the Republican vote this year than he did in 2016. It's not like Joe Biden got a lot of crossover support. Trump won more of the Republican vote than he did in 2016. And this Republican base, they love Donald Trump. They really do. And I don't think that candidates who are trying to revert back to how politics used to be will be able to win in Republican states. Now, the thing is, the nation is moving farther to the left, while the right is moving farther to the right. That's very good news for Democrats, because if the nation is moving to the left, because I feel like whenever we're talking about this, we can talk about the nation as a whole, and we can talk about the right in this. The left, there are younger organizers like AOC who are trying to, I guess Bernie is also an organizer and he's not young, but they are trying to move the nation leftward. So the party itself is moving leftward, but the nation itself is also moving leftward. However, the Republican Party is moving farther to the right. And I think this will benefit Democrats, because if you look at future elections, if people like Joe Biden, who are already moderates, are becoming moderate conservatives, and people like Joe Manchin in West Virginia who are basically moderates on the line of being a conservative. If the nation's moving to the left to the point where they are becoming conservative, people like Pete Buttigieg, who are I call it the moderates of the Democratic Party, like the centrists. Like the Democratic Party has there's obviously people like Joe Biden who are moderates in America's whole political landscape, but then there's the Democratic Party itself. And in the Democratic Party, people like Joe Biden are farther to the right, people like AOC are farther to the left, and people like Pete Buttigieg are in the middle. People like Pete Buttigieg will probably become more moderate type candidates, and people like AOC will still probably not be able to get elected, but will have a higher chance at getting elected, and will be able to, the nation will be moving farther to the left and won't really vote. I think that at that point they would vote for AOC over Donald Trump. That's just I think that they would vote for AOC over Josh Hawley or over Tim Scott. But I think that they would vote for her over Donald Trump. Anyways, or at least in that point in time. But the right is moving farther to the right. And a lot of these conservatives are going to be able to get elected in the GOP primary. As the GOP base is moving further to the right, people like John Kasich and Jeb Bush, where they didn't necessarily have a large shot in 2016, will have an even smaller chance at winning in 2024, I guess, in the future. Which is obviously not a good sign for the Republicans, or at least for moderate Republicans, who are trying to beat Democrats. And if they're electing people like Ted Cruz could maybe win in today's America. But as the nation's moving farther to the left, 4, 8, 12 years from now, Ted Cruz won't be able to win. And I think that just shows that we already have evidence that the nation's moving farther to the left. If you look, or at least the Sun Belt, which is a lot of the nation. The Rust Belt, more or less, but it'll still, that's the other thing that Democrats will lose their grip there, or if they haven't already. But I still think it'll be a competitive region, but it's not going to be we're not going to see Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania all voting for the Republicans by 10-plus margins. That's not going to happen. Anyways, the Sun Belt is moving farther to the left by a lot, as I said. If you look, Arizona has shifted a lot. Georgia now has elected Joe Biden, has 2 Democratic senators, and if Stacey Abrams runs in 2022, especially if Trump primaries Brian Kemp, like he's saying that he's going to do, Georgia's going to also have a Democratic governor. Arizona, like I said, moving further to the left. Texas shifting dramatically to the left. South Carolina kind of in that swing state and waiting category, but could easily be a swing state 8 years from now. This entire southern region, or this entire Sunbelt region, is moving to the left. Colorado is now a Democratic stronghold. Anyways, this entire southern region is moving to the left, and it's basically the U.S. because a lot of I don't have a electoral map up in front of me, but if you look at all those Sunbelt states, and they're moving further to the left, like I said, most of the red wall is going to stay red. A lot of the Rust Belt will still be competitive, but basically the nation is moving farther to the left, and as the right moves farther to the right, Ted Cruz might have a shot at winning 4 years from now. If the nation's moving farther to the right or to the left, 8, 12 years from now, the way that Americans view him will be moving to the right. As the nation's moving to the left, his status in politics he'll be shifting slowly and slowly farther to the right. And no, nobody that the nation views as radical will be able to win. And while he might not be radical in today's politics, if he's being viewed as farther and farther to the right, he will soon become radical. Or I say soon, 8, 12 years from now. And like I said, this is just showing that the GOP is not going to move with the rest of the nation. The GOP is still a conservative, very conservative, Trump-esque party. And I think that what we saw today, definitely shows that the GOP is not going to be changing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. And stay tuned because I have a lot of content, a couple of good ideas for videos I will be uploading in the near future. Bye, everybody.